Now, this is the completed look. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna go full glam. And I wanted to do it as I would do my makeup. I know we all love Ulta and Sephora, but if you looked in the average person's makeup bag, I think it would be a mix of drugstore and high-end. So that's what we're gonna do today. And if I think it's worth splurging, I'll let you know. And if I think it's okay to save, I'll tell you that too. If you have an important event coming up, I would suggest doing an all matte look and no shimmers, as it tends to photograph a little bit better. This is just gonna give something for the eyeshadow to grip onto. And then your colors can really pop if you're using ColourPop eyeshadow. But today we're gonna stick with all neutrals. All mattes, I mean, but they happen to be neutral as well. Yeah, it's a palette that I made with ColourPop, Nude, Mood, and Rosé all day together. And it has some E.L.F eyeshadows in here as well. I mean, E.L.F blushes. And I have hooded eyes, so I go a little bit above my face when I'm putting eyeshadow on, but you should just adjust for your eye shape and whatever looks best. So I'm gonna go into this medium tone brown first. I'm gonna take this deeper brown and go right here. And I don't think you need a particular palette to do this either. I think ColourPop is a good option for eyeshadow, so is Morphe, but even a Wet n Wild palette that you trust, you can get a similar look from. It doesn't have to be top dollar, it just has to perform well. And you don't need a ton of eye brushes either. I set out all these eye brushes for the beginning of this tutorial, and I've been using this one this entire time. I think the maximum amount of brushes a person needs is probably maybe 3 eyeshadow brushes and 3 face brushes. But work with what you got, essentially. So now I'm just blending it out with a fluffier brush. This I like because my eyes are hooded. I don't have a lot of lid space, so a lot of crease brushes are a little bit too big for me, and the handle broke off, but it's my favorite. And I got it in an Ipsy bag a while ago. And we are going to put a little bit of eyeshadow underneath our eye, but we're going to do our base makeup first. So that added like a good amount of dimension. I guess I am going to use a third brush, see? I'm going to take the lightest cream shade and put it all over the lid. And then we're going to go back with the fluffy brush. Same thing. For most eye looks, I think all you need is 3 eyeshadows. The rule of 3. Maybe that's the name of this video. Let's do eyebrows next. And I just got some new shampoo and conditioner from Sephora, and I broke the pump on it already, so I think I'm going to put it in a different container from JVN. But with that order, I got a tiny baby Anastasia clear brow gel. And I've seen people go back through their brows like this, so let's try it. My brows are pretty bushy, so I haven't had really any brow gel be able to hold them up into place. So, you know, it's got pretty stiff competition. I heard that there's a hairspray brand like that to be glued. I probably would have to try that, like something very hardcore. And then this is the CoverGirl Nano Brow Pencil. I think I would like one a little bit thicker, just because it seems a little too tiny. And I already have pretty thick brows, so oof. And it just snapped off, so that's a problem with it too. Definitely don't twist it all the way up. Like, how much of this product did I use and how much of it just snapped off? We'll never know. So next we're going to do foundation. If you're my shade twin, I'm NW10 in Studio Radiance by MAC. And we're going to start with one pump, but we'll probably need a pump and a half. I feel like I use less foundation than most, and I'm just using my fingers. Oh my gosh, I look like a ghost. I think this lighting might be a little bit off. But I am pretty pale. I always think of makeup as basically blanking out the canvas, and then you're painting it all back on. And this is pretty high coverage foundation. My face is pretty red, and obviously you're not seeing any of that redness come through. And most of the time, if it was just a regular day, not this like high glam situation, I wouldn't even use concealer. But since we're going the whole enchilada, we're gonna do it. Now I'm seeing my eyeshadow is a little like heavier on this side in comparison to that side, so it's always fixable. Let's go back in with a little bit more. I feel like going out a little farther. And we haven't done concealer yet, so I can clean up any eyeshadow mistakes. But I've actually been doing my concealer after my blush and bronzer, just to get like a more seamless fade. All right. And I feel like I do want just like a little bit of shimmer. Just for the inner corner. The millennial in me. I think I'm technically a zillennial. Every time I look up the year ranges, it's different. All right. I think we are going to do blush and bronzer next. The Matte Bouncy Blush in the color Hope by Rare Beauty. This is the only blush that will actually be on my face after a full day of work. So if you're somewhere and you don't really want to touch up, like I'm not one to touch up my makeup, to be honest. I just want it to be on there and to last. And this is the E.L.F. Liquid Blush Brush, a denser pack brush. I cannot say it. Blush brush will do. I thought about buying another one of these and also using it for foundation, but I just think I've come to terms with I'm not a foundation brush girl. So I would say splurge on the blush and then save on the bronzer. This is the CoverGirl Skin Enhancer Baked Luminous Bronzer in the shade Honey Bun. And I'm going to get a fluffier brush. I can't say brush today. Brush today. And just blend that together. I think they're like similar in tone, so I kind of go over where I put my blush with the bronzer. And a powder bronzer is going to last longer. And if you think your bronzer is applying patchy, you can powder your face first before bronzer. Which I probably should have done today, but it is what it is. So that's looking good, where I want it to be. And I am looking quite shiny. It is summer, so it's nice and hot. And that's where I would say the third brush comes into play. I like a smaller setting brush. Whoa, so much of this powder just came out. Laura Mercier, don't love your packaging. But I do love your powder. It's just a mess if you don't store it completely upright. And I'm more of like a always in a makeup bag kind of girl. Since I can't find the brush, I'm just going to do a powder puff. But it probably is fine for me in the summer. But if you have oilier skin, the brush that I like using is, I think it's actually a highlighter brush, so it's smaller, but it's fluffy, not like a pan brush. That's my go-to, but this will work. And I'm gonna go over everything with powder, because we want this to last. If you want it to last, do it in layers. I also forgot concealer, but no big deal. That's what's different in the routine, is like, if I'm going to do concealer last, like, when do I powder? This is the House Labs concealer in 04 Fair Neutral. And I think we're gonna go in. We're going ham. Do a little old-fashioned contour. I like to get the ends of my nose and have a little pimple right there. Sometimes you can carve out the cheeks a little bit more too. And since this is full glam, I think we're gonna do, we did bronzer and I think we're gonna do contour. If you think this is the wrong order, fight me in the comments. Just kidding. I'm here to learn. Of course, I can't find that either. This is actually the NYX dual-ended, like, contour and highlighter together. But I put it into a new packaging. I was like really into trying to like put everything in new packaging, and I feel like I ruined so much makeup. So more power to you, the people who do that here on YouTube, but it ain't me. I'm gonna grab a brush to blend that out. This is Real Techniques. I think it's a bronzer brush. It says 261 on it. Just creating some dimension. I'm not the best nose contourer in the world. I think there is something to be said about reverse contouring too. But we'll do what we can do. It's like, it almost blends to nothing, I feel. But if we're going full glam, we're going for it. And then I just take a ring finger or a middle finger. I read in a magazine at some point that it applies the least amount of pressure. Oh my gosh, I just stabbed myself in the eye. And that'll crisp up the lines of the eyeshadow too. All right, I think we're looking pretty good. I'm gonna go over again with that face brush and just blend everything. I'm usually a dry skin girly, but the summer heat is getting to me, so I think I'm gonna go in with a little bit of pressed powder too. Just locking it in. This pressed powder is actually from the dollar store. The La Mercier, whatever. Mercier? Mercerie, La Mercerie, let's say. Trying to sound French. On a big fluffy brush and just going over everything. And even, I still see the blush and the bronzer a little bit, but we can reinforce it. Now that we're powdered down. I feel like I've just getting ready down to like a science that I'm like almost doing it too fast for these videos, so let me know if the pacing is okay. A little more blush. Blush is usually the first thing to fade on your face too, so if you feel like you have too much, if you're not entirely blush blind over the day, it will lessen. And going back in with a fluffier brush for a little bit more bronzer. And then we do have a lot of powder on my face, but I really do like the powder melt by One Size. So that'll just bring some life back in. And then we can decide what to do for lips. I don't know if I'm using enough setting spray. I feel like everybody on YouTube sprays so much, so I guess just a personal preference. But this will just bake, like it says, melt in all the powder we just put on. It does feel nice. It's pretty hot in here. And then I just have a little fan. Feels so nice. I'm always so sweaty getting ready. Let's see, now we got like a nice little glow going. Oh my, I cannot put this fan back in. Whew. And then I do have this highlighter stick from L'Oreal in Glassy Pearl Eclat. My husband speaks French. You think I'd be a little bit better at it? I'm practicing on Duolingo. Got a 14-day streak going. I'm always doing it at like 10 o'clock at night, right when I get like the Angry Bird notification. Oh my gosh, the mic has not been on this entire time. We've turned the mic on now, so sorry for the differing audio quality. Baby YouTuber over here. All right, for lips, I'm gonna do the Makeup by Mario in Rich Mauve. Things are dropping. And if I think that staying power is going to be an issue, I do a liquid lipstick. And then if you're looking dry, you can always just bring a lip gloss in your bag. But at least you'll always have some color. Because those wedding photographers, they'll get you when you're not looking. Make sure to exfoliate. My lips are always so dry. And if you want your lip to last longer, I wouldn't top it with anything for the sake of longevity. Because if you do put a gloss over it, it's going to break down. But today we're feeling a little glossy. And this is the E.L.F. Glow Reviver Lip Oil. It is a little gloopy, so be aware of that. I'm not a gloop fan. So this is the finished look. Oh, eyelashes. I feel like that takes any look to the next level. And maybe when I put on eyelashes, I'm like, now I want to do some winged eyeliner. So we'll see. And we were talking about what to save on and what to splurge on. I'd say save on the eyelashes. The dollar store has pretty good eyelashes for $1.25. I've heard they have good eyelash glue too. I like the Duo eyelash glue. And I like a half lash. I feel like my eyes are a little bit smaller. That's my preference. All right, lashes are on. It was a struggle today. Some days it's easy and some days it is so hard. But when the band is thick, I like to go over with an eyeliner. All I have liquid right now is brown, so we'll see if it's dark enough to do what I wanted to. Oof. And that just blends it in a little bit better. And then I'm also gonna do, I know this is so millennial too, but I'm gonna do a white lower lash line, waterline. Good way to see my, pat out any concealer creases. Just makes them pop a little bit more. I feel like you can tell the difference. And a little bit of mascara. That'll help blend the falsies with your real eyelashes too, especially if it's a half lash. Sorry, I'm not even in frame. Now, this is the completed look. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next one.